I actually has prepared a few slides. I don't know if I can share the slides to talk about the recent mapping projects in Colombia and potential future mapping projects when you stay for your stay here. So hold me a second. I will to share my my screen.
Okay, great. And maybe let's start with introductions, and then we can go to your slides, Humberto. So just real quick, hi, everyone that's watching, either live or the recording. My name is Courtney Clark. I work in Peace Corps' Office of Innovation, and I'm the project lead on our mapping initiative. And I'd like to introduce you to Humberto, who I met at the State of the Map conference in New York in June. And Humberto, I'll let you tell a little bit about yourself, and then Ben, if you'd like to introduce yourself as well, that'd be great.
Sure.
Well, I'm OSM Mapper, member of humanitarian OpenStreetMap team, and have like almost 7 years of expertise doing maps with OpenStreetMap, and with a focus in mind to create maps for something with a subject, to use these maps or data for help people in disaster situations, or for his own development into the community. Yeah, that's what I do, basically.
Great, thank you. And Ben, go ahead and introduce yourself, please.
Sure. I'm probably the least esteemed person on the chat, but I am a future Peace Corps volunteer in January of 2016, joining 20 or so other Americans, headed down to Colombia, and I'm very excited for the opportunity. A little bit about me: I just came back from a year teaching at a high school in Istanbul, Turkey. So this will be my second time teaching overseas for English as a second language. So I'm looking forward to speaking Spanish again. It was my first foreign language, and I'm looking forward to going to Colombia and experiencing a new culture in a new country. Last thing about me I'll say is that I studied as a minor geographic information systems, so I do have a background in mapping, using spatial analysis and remote sensing and different types of mapping technology. So I'm a little bit out of practice because I've been teaching mostly, but I am looking forward to hearing more from Humberto about what his background is and what kind of mapping he's done in the past and for the future. So yeah, happy to be here.
Awesome, thank you. All right, so Humberto, I'll let you take it away with your slides.
Yeah, well, I am economist. This is my professional background, and I have involvement into the software development. Okay, so I was going to start with this. Hold me a second, please. Give me a while. These. Slides. Hold me a second. Yeah, here. Share. Okay. So let me know if you can see.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay, this is the slides. You can see the slides mapping in Colombia, recent and potential mapping projects.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, we're going to focus on this and recent and potential mapping projects. The first point is the two recent projects that we have in the country. The first one is for disaster in Salgar, Antioquia. That was 18th of May from this year. And the second one is mapping poverty at Isla de León, Cartagena de Indias. It's a small slum, part of a pilot project that I am supporting with an NGO called Techo, like roof in English. And at the second slides, I'm going to talk about the potential future mapping projects in Colombia. The first is drought at the up north of Guajira. Is desert states in Colombia, And the second is land tenure and tourist development in La Boquilla. This is where we have land conflicts and problem with community development. And the third one is displacement and land restitution in Colombia. This is initiative. The last two are initiative of members of OSM Colombia community. And the last one, the four, is biodiversity monitoring at Macizo Colombiano. So let's get started with this. Well, with the recent, the first one is landslides at Salgar. I want to jump into some pages, especially, well, the first one is the wiki page of Salgar. Well, the issue here was the community suffered from floods on floods here. The population rested on 18 May, about 3 a.m., the overflow of the stream La Liboriana because damaged waters after heavy rain. That is a common cause of flooding in Colombia. It broke the dream of this community that woke up in the nightmare of sea of watery mud that flooded and dragged their homes downstream. So just a message arrived to the OSM Colombia community, and then we started to map the area using Bing aerial pictures. This was the first task. And then a few days later, we received a new imagery coming from the National Federation of Coffee that covered all this area. It's a more bigger area than the Bing that only covers some part of Salgar. And this picture was from 2012. So, well, the community start to mapping, and we invite mappers from different countries to help us to finish with this task. And at the end of, in 27 of June, we have the participation of 111 mappers that map 65,000 of geographic objects. So what this is the statistics of the contribution. Now all this data was shared on the HDX XGS platform. I don't know if you know. It's 1 year. I hope the internet helped me here to show this. Okay, but all this data was converted into layers of shape files, and then shared into this new portal for open geospatial data sharing. And well, this was Salgar. We made big poster maps to share into the crisis room with the local government, with the mayor and the office of planning, the planning office, and all the people that is related with the emergency. Well, we have the collaboration of Mapbox team too to end with this task, and we can fly drones too, thanks to a company called Geodrone SAS in Bogota, Colombia. Well, they just arrived to the municipality of Salgar with the drone, and at the end we can take the pictures with very high quality pictures, very high density of 2 centimeters per pixel. And we receive later another post-disaster imagery from a Brazilian organization. This imagery coming from a Korean satellite. And well, we are now working on post-disaster maps. Okay, this is this was the last disaster mapping project, and on the other hand, we have Isla de León, and we're going to show you a little short video on YouTube. Just hold me a second, please. Okay, this project started on 21 of February in the Open Data Day. And we start with a workshop to calc or to trace aerial picture from 2012. So have an state of the slum from this date. After this workshop, well, we just go to the place and take new aerial pictures on 15th of April, April 15. This is Isla de León. Is a very, very poor area. So we flew DGA Phantom 2 and take 89 pictures.
Humberto, are you still there? We can't hear you.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Just waiting the
Okay, got it. Just wanted to make sure. Great.
Okay, we collected 89 pictures that later we received help from OSM team in France, from the person that have a strong knowledge of imagery in the HUD, Changi Health Kaltong. And we made the stitching of all these 89 pictures and then georeference it and serve it in a TMS, file management server. Mm-hmm. So after this, we make another workshop and have updated data to 15th of April. Then we just try to take pictures using balloons. But it's not was successful because we have energy wires very low, so it was very difficult to use the balloon. So okay, then we make mapping on the field using field papers, and that give us the opportunity to create a map like this. Have this in Cartography. So we can now have information of the work done for this NGO on the field, the number of houses that have been intervenidas, the houses where they are working on, and how this little slum is going is ready to fight with the floods. uh, gaining resilience. But I guess it's a little slow here. Sorry. Okay. Uh, okay, I can log in, but okay. This is the map. Uh, the blue houses uh, is the houses that where Techo is working. So the greenhouses is the where people can live. Uh, in red is the abandoned houses. In yellow are houses in construction. So this is the result of the mapping work. We can now know where are the water public plums, uh, where are the small kiosks, and we can say that at 2015 this NGO have like 20% or 25% of intervention in the houses of this slum. So if the floods arrive to this little slum when the rainy season comes through this river alongside of the slum, these houses will not suffer because they are prepared with the stilts. Okay, so this is just an ongoing pilot map project, excuse me, and we're going to prepare more maps using all the information, because after this on-field mapping, realize or do a household survey from each houses to each house. We have 12 pages of data in a very long survey. So we have detailed information of the slums, and we're not going to prepare the data to analyze and take decision to design development projects with the community. Okay, so this is the other recent mapping project. On the other side, well, I would want to show you what kind of project you can do when coming to Colombia. Mapping projects, I would refer. The first one, and coming north to south of the country. At the north of the country the problem is drought at Guajira. And I was going to use an article, a journalist article in Spanish, but that illustrates very well what is the problem here. La Guajira is a state where Indians live, and they, well, don't receive too much help from the government. Most part of these little houses distributed along the desert don't receive help from the government and doesn't have water, yeah, pipelines and things like that. So because El Niño phenomena that create the drought, plus the mining works, the mining yeah, that retain or take the water for his activity. Well, these communities, Indian communities, are suffering, and children are dying. The government say that the statistics are like 300 children died, but the people say that in these communities that the number of the children that is more than 4,000, because in his manners they don't tell to the authorities when a person die, just uh, just uh, just keep it private. And well, the journalist just talked with a little children and asked her if she knows the rain, and she with 3 years and a half and of born, and she didn't know the rain because the in Siapana is have 2 or more years that never the rain came. So um, well, they are suffering from this, and maybe just mapping uh, where the water are, or or where these people live, because there are no map of the area, and you can see in the Bing picture that there is still a lot of little towns like phantom towns, um, uh, lost it in the middle of the desert. So mapping the area and tracing roads and identify where the water can be take off, could be help to this community. Um, I want to pass along some pictures of the area. The government sent, water tanks, motor car with water tanks like this, one time at a month, in a month. So okay, this could be the first area. Uh, the problem is still there. You know, this is still there. This is a recent article, journalist article from June, 30th of June, and still the people is dying from desnutrition and the drought. So this could be an area to work for mapping.
I have a question,
And
Humberto.
this,
So is
yeah,
that area, is it mapped on OpenStreetMap yet? Is there a good base map and, maybe some detail about the buildings, or is all of that still need to be done?
yeah, you can see this is the in the image is this is La Guajira right
Mhm.
here. The principal city is Riohacha, and the other principal city are Manaure, Uribia, and Maicao. But the up north of Guajira is right here. So you can find here. Uh, Hold me a second. Yeah, towns like Taroa. I will going to show you the Bing picture. Is a phantom town. We can click here and edit, and we'll show the picture. This is just abandoned buildings, but here we have small houses, and this is the geography. You can search the picture and found this kind of small and very lost towns in the middle of the desert. And we have a lot of rivers that isn't mapped yet. You can see here there is another one, and this is where the animals they live, the animals, and well, they are suffering with this because the animals are dying too. So there are rivers, obviously no rivers with no water, but still rivers that need to be mapping, so to know where the water runs. You can see here there is another house with and here where the animals live. So there's still a lot of this small town where we can map and try to help these people.
Sure, and many of the invitees who are watching, you hopefully know how to do this mapping by this point. So this is something you could be doing if you're looking to start, learning more about Colombia or building a connection before you leave. Could be definitely mapping this region of the country, and hopefully that would be very helpful.
Okay, now I'm going to move to other area. That is the area where I am working since 4 years ago. Okay, we're here in Guajira. We're going to move in a little down to the south, to here to Cartagena. Cartagena was the principal port of Las Americas in the colonial times. I'm talking about the 15th, 17th century. And all the gold and raw material that came from Las Americas, I mean Peru, Venezuela, Ecuador, etc., is coming out from the port of Cartagena de Indias. This is the reason why we have a lot of castles and walls, city walls. And this is one of the reasons because Cartagena is a tourist city. Well, into these colony times, there were some kind of slaves that escaped from the Spanish and construct some kind of palenques is the official name. I don't know how to translate that in English. It's palenques is where they live. Just put some roads, and one of these palenques was situated, or certainly not a palenque, but a town of fishermen with black people, with fishermen and Afro-descendant people, more correctly, and they are living here in this town and live from the fishing activity. But this is a tourist city that is growing, and creating new hotels in this area. These are big construction, new hotel, tennis courts, things like that. And in the other side, we have a new construction. We have a new construction here. It's a big project of 1,000 hectares, and you can see here these are new constructions, expensive constructions.
What are they building? Sorry, if I can interrupt. What are they supposed to be building?
What?
With all that new area, what are they constructing there?
Here, they will going to construct, here,
yeah.
is 1,000 hectares. And okay, so we have a land conflict here because these people want to continue the growth or a rise of new buildings in this area, but in this area are the fishermen living. It's the same with this new construction. They want this area to create a moor, yeah, where the judge can park. And well, we have a very poor area here. It's very sad. But okay, they want to expose these people. Like always, it's happening that the construction come and these Afro-descent people have to move to another place. But in La Boquilla is have a very specific history because they received his land titulation from in the hands of your President Obama. They now have a common land titulation that give to these people the authority of the land between this street, the number 38, until La Boca de la Boquilla, until here. I don't know what will going to happen with these two other areas, but the land titulation just covered this one. So the problem is gentrification. They are trying to buy houses, so little houses. So then, when they have all a big block, they turn down all the houses and construct a new building, and going further and further. This is the objective. Other problem is that the people is filling the mangrove, is cutting the mangrove and filling this with the blocks, and you know, so they can construct new houses into a protected area. This by law, the people can construct into the mangrove. So you can see here how big is the problem, and on the other side, we're going to construct a new highway here. These people, some part of the town, live from ecotourism too. They have these ecotourism roads that are mapping to, where the people coming to see to be watching, we're watching. There are endemic species, migration species that are very attractive for the people that love this hobby. And you can see here is a bird watching point too. More than that, I have a map here of La Boquilla. We can see here 4 dimensions of the area. The first dimension is the urban, formal and informal. The second one is the natural. The third one is cultural, and the fourth one is point of interest. So in cultural, you can see how the people live in okay, this must be appear a picture here. Tell me a second. Well, I can send you all these links so you can see all this information, but in the point reds, we can see how the people live in the town. And the green points, you can see the species of birds, crustaceans, and other species. And if they construct this new avenue, this new highway, well, we're going to destroy the ecotourism activities and fishing activities that they do into these shallow waters. And okay, so the point here is that with this new land titulation, uh, now they have the authority to receive funds from the government, and and all these processes are legal processes that they systematically win, but in the practice, uh, the law doesn't come to reality. One of these big new legal issues is the planning, the planning development from La Boquilla. And the local government say that they can continue with this planning because they need maps and geospatial data. So there is an opportunity to deliver updated map data to the Conseil of La Boquilla. They are organized, they have a Conseil, a president, secretary, and all this organizational stuff. So they can, with this information, send this information to the local authority, and they can start. So hopefully they can start this new planning document. With the planning document, they can have access to new avenues, new highways into his neighborhood or town, and to construct new schools, new health buildings, and things like that to support the development of this. So this could be another project. First, maybe it could be fly a drone or using field papers or GPS to have updated map, and then start to using all this information plus event information with Ushahidi to share with the community and create programs or projects for his own development. So this is a way how you use open data with the community to support community development. And this could be the second project in Colombia.
Great, that sounds really interesting. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt. I was just mentioning, I think it would be interesting, especially, volunteers wouldn't get involved in any sort of like legal matter, but to maybe even map those mangroves and maybe map over time the growth or the reduction in the mangrove areas. As we know, they're very important for environmental protection. So that could be an interesting conservation or climate change sort of project. So yeah, that sounds really interesting. Thanks. Go ahead. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt there.
Don't worry. The third one is, well, I shared this idea to talk with my partners in OSM Colombia community, and two of them give us this information. Oh, Control 5. Hold on a second. But I don't know, it's not possible to put the presentation ongoing. But well, the third point is about land restitution. Well, Colombia have a long conflict in its history, you know about that, and this conflict will create displacement. Now there is a new unit, a new area or department into the Colombia Agricultural Ministry that is is land restitution unit that is in the difficult task to deliver it back the land to his original owners. And in this process, they need geospatial information to support the legal demands of the people. And so they need to map in these green areas that, well, are very small here, but I want to put this image bigger. I don't know, it could be show, but in all these green areas, there are land restitution process. So in these areas, well, they need geospatial information about big monocultive areas of African palm and banana, and intersection zones between gas, oil concession, big infrastructure projects, and the ethnic territories and natural reservations. The contact is a person that works with the land restitution unit that is one of the members of OSM community mappers. And the fourth one is at the south of the country. Is in this area of El Cauca. Is like in this area near to Parque Nacional Natural Puracé. All this area is a very interesting area of biodiversity or ecological area, because in this area is where the main rivers of Colombia born. So they are monitoring moors and cloud forests that are in risk or menace because activity of multinational mining companies, and they are making follow-up of these watersheds into the municipalities of Sotara, Almaguer, well, a lot of municipalities around this area, and they need to create risk maps of watersheds that supply water to these municipalities. And well, they are monitoring all these biodiversity around the area, so you can help with them to create this information. The contact is Carlos Castillo, that works for the Health Secretary at Cauca State Government, that is a Cauca State Government agency. So that's all. Thank you for your time. I wait for your comments or questions if you have any.
Great, thank you so much. That was fantastic. Ben, do you have any questions you'd like to ask or any observations?
Yeah, when you're talking about Cartagena, is there a push by the local community to really prevent these developments from happening, or what's the public opinion there? Because it might, I mean, I'm just making an observation, but it might not be all bad for the community to have more development there if it's providing jobs and a livelihood, especially if these people are in poor, kind of economically troubled areas. I don't know what you think about it, but like, I understand the mapping idea behind it, but I was just wondering what the public or the local population thinks of the situation there.
The local population of the city, or the local population of the town?
Well, I guess the town, La Boquilla, that would be affected by the new highway and the new developments.
Yeah. Well, they are in the middle of a lot of discussions about this new highway.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Recently, well, there was a petition or ask for the national government to listen to these communities. Well, obviously that that the community desire this kind of activity of mapping. Actually, the, the council is aware of that, uh, and they are waiting. They are waiting for these solutions to create a new map to leverage events of where the trash is, where the crime is appearing, and things like that. Information around this town that can serve to the council to take better decision and to create projects to present to the local or national authorities. Um, yeah, the conflict is between these people is with the hotels right there, because the hotels don't want that they appear in the beach. So there are a legal process that already they win and obligate to the hotel to turn down, uh, to quick uh, uh, a lot of bungalows that they have here in the front of the beach. So now the people can pass and sell his product in the beach. And so yes, there is an acceptation of people of La Boquilla to do the maps and work with you if you want to come here to create the maps and then hope develop some programs too.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, there are any more questions?
Have you worked a lot with youth or students in your mapping activities? Have you found that works well? A lot of volunteers around the world find that working with youth is a great option for them. So is there sort of a youth mapping community in Colombia as well?
Yes, I have experience with students of the university. These roads into the water uh, was made by a student of the University of Cartagena. Here there is close, not too close, but I mean close at all. Is Isla de León. This is Isla de León, the other project that we are working. And yes, we have participation of students for a lot of local universities and two workshops in three universities. And the next Thursday, we're going to make a TED conference, a TED local conference about this slum mapping project in other universities. So we have four universities involved into this activity. And yes, but I mean, I have things to do too. I decided to have all the time to follow my passion and dedicate the time that these people deserve, but I have to do other things too. So this is the reason why is uh,
Humberto, how many people are working with you on
yeah.
this mapping project? Are you getting other local Colombians involved? I mean, you're working OSM Colombia, so how many people are actively involved in these projects now?
Uh, well, the community in Colombia are around 200 people, 100 people, but I guess we are like 20 to 13 active mappers. And well, everybody have his own projects in different part of the country. Uh, um, and so it's a big country, so people are working in the center. I am working here in my city, physically, I mean. But yes, this building was thanks to the contribution of the OSM Colombia mappers too, and part of the city, and the city too. And yeah, we were distributed into other regions using, you know, uh, the the JOSM and this remote mapping, yeah, or armchair mapping. But locally, it's difficult. It has been difficult to sustain volunteers to go and maintain the map.
I have another question. I hate. Are there
Yeah.
anybody else, I guess, who has a question before I dive in? I don't want to take up all the questions.
We haven't had any from the audience. Remember, if you are viewing, you can type in your questions to the Q&A. But for now, go ahead, Ben.
I was just going to say, have you reached out to anyone in the national government in Bogota? Are there any like government ministries that are responsible for maybe, a cartography department or a GIS division in the national government who should be paying attention to some of these issues that you just highlighted? I was just curious.
Now, well, we are like OSM community in Colombia, uh, well, they provide aerial pictures too many years ago, but right now, well, that they use the data that we are creating, but unsuccessful, unsuccessful. We are unsuccessful with this idea or initiative. In the local government, well, we are trying. We are trying. We recently present a project, but the response of the local government is that they doesn't have a budget, and they are now in elections, so we doesn't have a budget, and we right now we can contract these activities. So it's very new, this uh, open data initiative for the government, and I think that is a long and hard way, but the people in the town really need that data.
Yeah.
And once they have this data, well, they can present the data to the government from institution to institution.
Yep. Is the drought situation in La Guajira? I don't know if I pronounced that correctly. Is that getting worse, or is it getting a little bit better in the north?
No, it's getting. I don't know to say worse. I guess the situation is bad, and it's still bad after 2 years of this report in El Espectador was done last year, but this year is still the problem present, because we have this in this review vice article from 24th of April, and says that La Guajira still lacks of water, potable water, following killing and continues killing thousands of indigenous children. And the other one, more recent, that is from 13th June, is drought, desnutrition, and death in La Guajira. So the problem is still there. The government, well, sends on water tanks, motor car with water tanks. I don't know, they're talking about some kind of pipeline constructed, but the problem is still there. So I guess using open data and have a more clear vision of what is, where are the people located, because you can see in the aerial picture that there are very in the middle of the desert, lost towns or houses. So where they are, and more than that, mapping data from the community to maybe help. I don't have contact there. It was an email and the list of OSM Colombia, and somebody asked for maps there, but it's only that. But if you are interested, I can continue to make some contacts and see with more precisely what kind of activity can be done and with whom.
That's great. I mean, the offer of, keeping up the conversation and keeping this connection going. So thank you. We're right at the hour mark, so I definitely want to respect both of your schedules. So just a huge thank you to both of you. Ben, thanks so much for joining us and for all of your really insightful questions. And Humberto, thank you so much for that information. That was really fascinating. It seems like there's so much potential and need for increased open geospatial data in Colombia. And so I think a lot of our volunteers, might be able to find that an opportunity to help out and lend you a hand, whether that's creating base maps or, doing sort of field data collection. So we'd love to keep this conversation going, and we really appreciate your presentation as well.
Okay, well, thank you, Carmen. A pleasure to serve or help you.
Mm-hmm. All
So,
right.
well, bye-bye to everybody.
Yeah,
De nada.
thank you. All right, we'll talk soon. And thanks to everyone who watched. Bye.
Hasta luego.
Ciao, ciao.
Ciao.
Ciao, ciao.